Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome to another night here on Northwoods TCG. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining in this evening. As always, greatly appreciated to see you guys in here. I'll give you a few seconds for people to come in. Once again, I'm running a couple minutes late. Not too bad, not too crazy. Hopefully, you guys have had a fantastic day. And, of course, going into midway through the week. So today, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things that are happening in Pokemon TCG. There's a lot of interesting news, a lot of things happening right now. I know we're going to take a little bit of a break from politics when it comes down to Pokemon. We're going to take a little bit of a break from that. I'm going to have to turn this down. Hey, Gimbo, how you doing? I'm going to turn this one light off. I was using it for something else, and it doesn't work so hot. It makes me look like I'm at a campfire and I'm hiding, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Once again, guys, we're going to be talking about what's happening in Pokemon TCG. One thing I can confirm now is that there is a reprint of Paldea Evolved. That was a big question when it came down to it. Now, I have been able to get access to that as well. So, just so you guys are aware, there has been a reprint of that. I can now confirm that as well. It's come through on my stuff as well. So, it's not a huge one. It doesn't seem like. I mean, there's a little bit of product. It doesn't seem like it's gigantic, but certain individuals seem to have been able to get more product than others, just as normally happens, especially on the booster box front. There isn't a ton. It actually is disappearing fairly quickly from what I'm getting out of it. So there is available. Now the real question is this going to destroy the Pokemon market? That's a big question when it comes down to it. A lot of people are saying that this is going to destroy the market, and this is, to me, is why I have not really invested into Scarlet and Violet. And I know this is a hot take. This is something that a lot of people want to argue with. You know, we see some content creators, I'm not going to name names, who really push that everything is investable and that you're missing out if you don't jump in on it. But this is where I tell people that sometimes it's just better to sit back and wait. This is a different market. This is not the market of, back in 2019, end of 2019 going into 2021. This isn't COVID market. This isn't any of those things. This is just strictly a normalized market. When we're looking at a normalized market, when it comes down to Pokemon products, it may be years before this stuff actually has some investment value. And that's just something that some people don't want to talk about, some people want to ignore when it comes down to investment in Pokemon. Am I still investing in the Pokemon stuff? Of course I am. It'd be crazy not to be doing something in Pokemon. There's always enough to do, whether it's a business front or the market or looking at potentials in the hobby in general. So when I'm looking at it, when it comes down to investments in Scarlet and Violet, once again, my same stance is still going to hold that I've been telling everybody on this channel now for probably the last year, is sit back, relax, and wait. We have reprints coming. We've got other products that are probably going to get reprinted. I'm sure Paldea Evolved is not going to be the only one. Could we see an Obsidian Flame reprint? Absolutely. Could we see a Twilight Masquerade reprint? Absolutely. Can we see any of the related sets in Pokemon TCG getting another reprint? Of course we could. We've been seeing Pokemon 151 getting a reprint. Once again, that got eaten up extremely quickly. Personally, I don't think I personally like the way that one was released. I think that was more of a release deal. I think that a lot of places were causing false FOMO and hype on these particular products by releasing short little spurts. So they might have gotten so many products, and I don't know how much they got, but it seemed like they would release maybe like 1,000 at a time or 2,000 at a time, and then let them sit until they're gone, and then wait a couple days, and then put some more out there, and then wait a couple days, like Best Buy. Best Buy did that like 6 times. So you had like 6 opportunities to buy these booster bundles before they sold out. Same thing with Target, same thing with Amazon, same thing with Walmart. They were like these short little bam, 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 and you had to be there right there. It's like almost like a heartbeat. Like you had to be there to catch those particular items, and that's a real pain in the butt when it comes down to these particular products. And I absolutely and truly feel that was completely done by these companies to create hype and FOMO to be able to sell these products extremely quickly. And it seemed like they were trying to get the market maybe a little bit going as well. They were doing things to try and persuade the market to be bigger than what it was. So overall, really, really interesting way that they released Pokemon 151. I have been seeing now on the shelves that we've got the poster collections back. You can see one right above my head right over here. So if you haven't seen, these have been showing up now again at stores. So we do have the poster collections are coming back. I'm assuming we're going to be seeing more 151 product slowly trickling out into the market as well. It just seems to be a consistent trickle out versus a big deluge, and maybe that's a new strategy we'll be seeing with these bigger sets, is just see what sells. So they'll release so much of this particular product, and if it does well, they might release more. Or like I said, companies just feeling like they need to just kind of wait out the material versus just a complete dump when it comes down to the products coming out. So yeah, that's one thing in the market that I'm really not liking, especially for 151. I kind of like almost the oversaturation point where a lot of product gets jumped onto the market. It creates like this drop or dump where the prices really do come down and settle. It gives you an opportunity to get in on some of these things. It also can sometimes affect that single card market where we see that kind of get drawn down a little bit, and we didn't really get that per se in this particular release of 151. So it's good in some ways for the people that are trying to hold those investments and hoping they continue to hold value, but on the other hand, for people that are maybe trying to finish collections or collectors that are trying to get in on stuff, those people that are just starting out in the market, it definitely makes it a little bit more difficult for them to be able to take advantage of those particular releases when it comes down to reprints, re-releases of specific products. Overall, though, like I said, I'm still not tight into Scarlet and Violet. Let's just be 100% honest. I know some people are really pushing to buy some of everything, buy Paldea Evolve, buy Paradox Rift. Right now, like I said at the last live a couple lives ago, if you're going to buy Paldea Evolved right now would be the time that I'd be looking. We're probably going to get back to bottom dollar pricing. We'll probably get close to that, maybe that $100 mark, depending on how much is actually released into the market. Once again, booster boxes have been very difficult to get, and that Magikarp is very popular, so there's still getting to be a demand when it comes down to those particular products. So overall, definitely great opportunities. Next thing I want to kind of touch base on again is going to be Team Rocket. Now, a big factor that I think is going on right now, and this is something that I'm starting to see it on multiple fronts. And Stellar Crown, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Stellar Crown, when it comes down to actual sales, has been down considerably compared to everything before it. I'm just going to be on my end. Maybe it's just me, but for some reason, people just are not biting on Stellar Crown, and there could be a couple of reasons why I could see that. And this is one of the news things I want to talk about is if someone else that sells and does rip and chips or anything like that actually sells product, let me know in the chat or in the comments afterwards. I'm kind of curious to hear how other people are feeling on this particular set, but I've just noticed that it just seems like it's more of a struggle. Like my case of them is like drug out further than it has with any other set prior. And part of it is, I was talking on one live, a lot of guys and individuals and women that are coming into live are more excited about futuristic sets. So this might be something to really consider when you're looking at these particular products. Now, number one, there's one or two things that could potentially occur in this situation is people are waiting for Team Rocket, which means Team Rocket could be a very, very huge set. Getting those pre-orders in on that particular product might become one of the most important things that you can do. Or the other factor is that you need to be looking at the potential of maybe missing out for a while and maybe heavy reprints of that particular set due to the fact that there is going to be this much hype and FOMO with a set such as Team Rocket. The other one I've been hearing a ton of are people really talking about the new Eevee Hero set. So they're really excited with the new Eevee Hero set, Gym Challenge set coming out. I believe Gym Challenge is going to be the same as Eevee Heroes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but that's been my understanding to date is that Gym Heroes is going to be the new Evolutions 2.0, which will be a really interesting mesh when it comes down to that in the Pokemon TCG, if they actually do that. I was kind of hoping it'd be an individual set, do another Eevee's Hero set, but it is what it is. We'll just kind of keep moving on that front when we get more information as that set continues to roll out. But Team Rocket is definitely drawing a lot of attention, even on the rip and chip side, even on the sales side of things. It's definitely starting to overshadow some of these current sets. Stellar Crown being one of them for myself, and I've got a feeling we're going to see the exact same thing in Surging Spark. The only thing that Surging Spark might have over top of like Stellar Crown is going to, of course, be that Pikachu set inside of there. Looks alright. There's been some artwork going around that I'm hoping is in the Surging Spark set. It's like a Pikachu Mew card. I don't know if you've seen that on what do you call it? Poke Guardian or Poke Beach. They both have, they believe they both put up that card now that there's a Mew Pikachu card with like Pikachu doing his jumping out of the card with Mew behind him. It's kind of a really cool artwork that I'm hoping is in Surging Spark. I could see that being a very, very hot card. But with my luck, it's probably going to be a promo. That's typically what happens with those really nice cards like that, especially Pikachu promos or Pikachu cards. So that's something that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to roll out and how that's going to play out. But when it comes down to it, though, right now, Surging Spark, Stellar Crown. If they get overshadowed, let's just say that they do get heavily overshadowed by Team Rocket and EV Heroes 2.0, there's one of two things that could come out of this, going back to my original train of thought. Number one, it could mean that they'll just get forgotten. Right, of course. If they're not really seen in the mainstream, people don't start collecting, people don't start buying those particular cards, people don't start having interest in those particular cards, they start to become overshadowed, and people really, really don't see anything that's happening or happening with them, and they get forgotten, right? We get what they call forgotten sets. That's definitely a potential in these kind of markets currently. If there's no hype now, what's going to spark it in 5 years? What's going to spike people to want to purchase some sets in 5 years? That's the number one thing that I could see happening. The number two thing that we could be seeing happening is something like what we saw with Team Up. Team Up was a very, very, very almost forgotten set when it first came out, but it did get underprinted so heavily that underprinting of that particular set really gave it an opportunity to be a banger set at the end, just because of the fact that there wasn't as much of it available. The amount available on the market compared to any of the other Team Up sets is just way down in that perspective. So that's one of two avenues we could be looking at with Stellar Spark or Stellar Crown and Surging Spark. I just combined them into one. I'm just going to start combining them into Stellar Spark, and we'll just save some time here. But I think that this could be a potential with what we're seeing currently in the market. If we don't see hype and FOMO for these particular sets, and we continue to see this drawdown of interest on particular sets, why would Pokemon have a reason to go back and reprint those particular items? That's a big question that you need to look at when you're looking at the potential or growth inside of the market for futuristic terms when it comes down to sets. So when I'm looking at a specific set, as I've said on here before, what is in it that people are going to want to buy futuristically? And that really can determine whether or not it's something that's investable and we should be looking at, or is it just something that's going to be forgotten by the market because there's really nothing interesting inside of it. And I mean, you can even go back and take a look at the last 4 sets of Sword and Shield. The one set that's really still lagging is Astral Radiance. And I know some people are going to say so is Silver Tempest. Silver Tempest got a little bit bigger reprint when it came down to that last set with Lost Origins, so they got a booster box reprint that Astral Radiance did not. That's always a big factor when it comes down to Silver Tempest, but Silver Tempest still has a Lugia card in it that is a fantastic card, and it looks very nice. Overall, I think that those three, they're going to go Brilliant Stars, Lost Origins is going to be number 1, Brilliant Stars is going to be number 2, and you're going to have Silver Tempest lagging right behind number 3. Number 4, of course, is going to be Astral Radiance in there, but I think Astral Radiance will fall down even further than that if you were to go through the whole Pokemon TCG. It's just not strong enough because there isn't a lot of fan-favorite Pokemon inside of there. Palkia, Dialga, yes, those decks are popular, which is really helping Astral Radiance. That Palkia deck being very, very playable, even in today's terms until rotation happens here this spring, is a real good interesting factor as well to keep Astral Radiance afloat. But once that playability is gone on that particular set as well, and all of these trainer cards and things that are out there that people are really using currently for decks, what's going to happen when those actually vacate the system and then they're gone? They're no longer usable when it comes down to the terms of play. Is Astral Radiance still going to have a demand? Is a Machamp alternate art going to be enough to keep that set afloat? I know there's Palkia, Dialga alternate arts in there too, but as we see, compared to the Charizard, compared to the Lugia, compared to the Tina, they aren't even holding a candle to those 3 particular cards, even in the current market when it comes down to the bigger alternate arts of the Sword and Shield era. So, is Astral Radiance going to be another example of where we're seeing these drawdowns in the market and particular sets, where we're starting to see fandom really start to drive particular sets and make them more valuable and more I want to say more susceptible to investment growth? That's definitely something that I would consider when it comes down to playing that card more and more in Scarlet and Violet. The other factor is too, and this is something that I want to talk to you guys about when it comes down to the actual sets and the actual products themselves, is I want to know your guys' thoughts. And let me know in the chats what you guys think about this too. Are Illustrator Rares and SIRs being overprinted in the current market? I'm just going to be 100% honest. I feel like they are. I'm honestly looking for something new. I want to see something new come out of the Pokemon TCG. We went through alternate arts through Sword and Shield. They're hot. They're really good. They did VMAX and V at the beginning. By the last 4 sets, they were down to V only. They got rid of the V Max rarity when it came down to alternate arts, but they really didn't have a whole large slew of alternate arts. So if I were to go and even take a look at the list of alternate arts from, let me just grab, or Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars, I believe, had, what, 6 alternate arts in it? I mean, there wasn't very much inside of it for alternate arts. And I just want to make sure I give you a correct number, because that's just what I like to do and try and be correct on here. So it looks like it had 4. So if I'm correct, they had 4 alternate arts in the Sword and Shield Brilliant Stars list. So we had the Honchkrow, you had the Luminion V, you had the Arceus V, and you had the Charizard V. So those were going to be the ones. I'm just looking to make sure that there were no other ones, because I feel like there's one I'm missing inside of there for some reason. So let's go ahead and check, just make sure I'm not missing, because they had the Trainer Gallery in it, which was a new rarity that they added into Brilliant Stars, which changed things. So no, those were the only alternate arts that were inside of there. And then they had the Gold Birds, the Galarian Articuno, the Galarian Zapdos, the Galarian Moltres, and then the Arceus V-Star was going to be your gold cards. So yeah, I mean, even Pokemon at the end of the Sword and Shield era was starting to reduce the number of alternate arts that they were putting inside of there. And it's really, really interesting to see that when it came down to the newest sets here, that we've seen a real ramp up when it comes down to that. It's definitely something that is a new dynamic when it comes down to the Scarlet and Violet era. I almost feel like I'm overwhelmed with the number of alternate SARs, whatever you want to call them, alternate arts, Illustrator Rares, Secret Illustrator Rares. It just seems like there's so many of them. And most of them are not, to me, they're not collectible, which is the worst part about them. I mean, yeah, even Sword and Shield had some of them. I mean, you go to like the Brilliant Stars list, most of those are got fan favorite fandom behind them. I mean, Honchkrow's probably the only one that really wasn't going. Luminion was playable. That's why that one's so popular. But realistically, Charizard and Arceus were very popular. Pokemon have fandom behind those particular sets. I mean, we can go into Astral Radiance. I believe only had that many too. So I'm going to go into Astral Radiance, what we have for Astral Radiance alternate art. So if I go into these, I think there was like 4 again on this one. So it had a couple more. So this one had, this one actually had 6. We had Beedrill, you had the Lilligant, I forgot about the Lilligant, I forgot about the Beedrill, but then we had the, and the Sneasler. I forgot about those 3. You got the Dialga, the Palkia, and the Machamp, and then the Sneasler, Lilligant, and Beedrill. So you had 6. 6 Astral Radiance. We got a Lost Origins. I think it drops down again. So we got a Lost Origin, alternate arts. Just again, I'm just looking at the numbers here. That's all I'm really curious about. So 4 again. So we dropped down to 4 because there's the Aerodactyl and the Tina, both of which very, very popular, having some really good push. And then you had the Berserker and the Rotom V. So those were the ones inside of there. And Silver Tempest, I believe, only had 4 as well. So if I go to the Silver Tempest alternate arts, we have, because I knew there's Regidrago, there's the Skunk Tank, that's the other one. Okay, so yeah, there's 4 again in there. So realistically, Astro is the big push, but then you got the Unknown V, you got the Skunk Tank, the Regidrago, and the Lugia V. So once again, you know, we're seeing that at the end of Sword and Shield, compared to the first 4 sets, which were Battle Styles, really had 6, so there's 6 in Battle Styles. You went to Chilling Reign, which had a ton. Chilling Reign was full of VMAX and Vs inside of that one. It was loaded. Evolving Skies, of course, had a ton. I think there was almost 12 or 14 inside of there, plus the promo versions of them that you got inside of the Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon collection boxes. And then you went into Fusion Strike that also had a smattering of them as well. I think Fusion Strike was down a little bit compared to the other Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies. But we saw it kind of drag down into the end half. They only went to Vs. They really simplified it when it came down to alternate arts, and the chases became more fun. Now it's like every single set has a bunch of them, and they're not even really, like I said, they're not really fan favorite Pokemon. It's not like you're chasing like known cards. So if you look at the latest set, so we go Stellar Crown, and we pull open that list, just looking at it real quick. Stellar Crown card list. So I'll pull that up real quick, and I'll list off the number of the cards here that we're looking at right now when it comes down to what I would consider alternate art status, Illustrator Rare, that kind of stuff. There are quite a few more, and they're not really, you know, long-term fan favorite Pokemon. I know Pokemon's got to evolve. Don't get me wrong. Pokemon's got to evolve and start trying to push some different Pokemon out there than just your OGs, your Gen 1, Gen 2s, and going into your Gen 4s. I mean, I understand in some ways you have to continue to grow in order to get the hobby to expand. But you also have to look at what people are going to want when it comes down to these alternate arts. I mean, Illustrated Rares, the only ones, Squirtle and the Bulbasaur, of course, are going to be your bigger ones. But Gulpin, who cares about Gulpin? Melkury, okay. Zeraora, yeah, maybe. Crabable, not really. Joltik, who cares? Medite, I mean, it's not even a final evolution of a Pokemon, nor do you have the SAR to back that one. I mean, it's just like the Secret Illustrated Rare is Duskbun. Why? Why are we chasing a Duskbun EX as a Secret Illustrator Rare? You know, Garvantula EX. I mean, why are we chasing these as the Secret Rares? So, it might be just me. Let me know in the comments below what you guys actually feel about that. I'm just kind of curious to know if you're just kind of getting all these, I want to call it alternate arted out, but Illustrated Rare, Secret Rare out or outed. I mean, because you look at this, how many do we have here in the latest set? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You got 17 Secret Illustrated Rares, and you have, you know, compared to like 4 to 6 of the end of Sword and Shield. So it just feels overwhelming. It's just absolutely crazy the amount of Illustrated Rares. So these are kind of factors I think maybe causing some issues with the desire for the Pokemon TCG. And these are going to be things that we're going to have to work through. Pokemon's going to have to expand. I get that. We're going to have to continue to expand this hobby, but in another way, we have to be looking at the investability of these specific sets. Wow, that was quick. That was quite difficult. So if I go to Twilight Masquerade 2, I know that there's a whole pile in Twilight Masquerade as well. So we'll just do one more quick look through at Twilight Masquerade, you know, and let's take a quick look at what we had in here. I know that there's a bunch in here as well, because there's all those Teal Mask, or all those Ogapons inside there as well, inside the Secret Illustrator slot in here. I mean, you did have that Greninja EX, of course, which is got to be a very popular chase, and you know, a fairly decently popular Pokemon. I mean, I'm not going to say it's hugely popular, but it's definitely got its opportunities for sure. So let's see here. So we had in. So this is going to go into Twilight Masquerade. So how many Illustrator Rares do we have? Secret Illustrator Rares. So Secret Illustrator Rares alone, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we had 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were Ogapons. So we got the Teal Mask, the Hearthflame, the Weeping, and the Cornerstone. You got the Greninja EX. You got the Sinistash, and the Blood Moon Ursaluna. So those are all Secret Illustrator Rare chases. So you got those original 6. And then we go into the Illustrator Rares. And the Illustrator Rares, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 20. So there was 20 plus the 6. There's 26 Illustrator Rares and Secret Illustrator Rares in that set alone. Probably the best ones are the Eevee, the Chansey. Let's see, what else can we, I mean, nobody's chasing Cramorant. Let's just be 100% on it. The Frostlass I thought was a cool artwork, but really, there again, it's just kind of the artwork that was cool on that one. I mean, Heliolisk, Chimco, I mean, Waterler, it's just Diplin. I mean, they're not popular. I mean, who's chasing these cards? So, once again, let me know in the comments. Maybe it's just me. I just feel like it's just overwhelming, and there's really nothing of interest when it comes down to Illustrator Rares. Like, they're trying to just blanket all of these different Pokemon out that might be, maybe that could be cool Pokemon. They're making Illustrator Rares of those quick, and they're throwing them all out there. They're just dumping them on the ground and going, here, let us know what you like, and maybe we'll go after that more. And it's not really pertaining to anything. I mean, when you're looking at 26 Illustrator Rares, that's double, almost double what we saw in like the heaviest set in Sword and Shield. So it's just me. It just feels like there's a ton of them, and it's just not not conducive to the overall market and for what people are looking for when it comes down to, number one, when you're looking at our market itself, we are looking at people that are looking to open packs and chase something. So for an investment side of the Pokemon CTCG, it's really important to sit there and look at investments, and you're trying to make decisions on investment. You need to understand, number one, what's your market going to be? Our market is really, in the future, people that are going to, number one, rip and ship and be selling these products, such as PokeRev opening vintage packs and going backwards and selling those particular products on different platforms, whether it's Whatnot, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever these sales are taking place, and Twitch. They need to have the opportunity to have interest for people who want to purchase these packs. If people don't have interest in chasing anything out of these, they don't have interest in purchasing packs, which means you as an investor are stuck with these particular products. The other people that you're really looking for is collectors. So collectors are definitely going to be the other factor, or who's going to be purchasing these particular products and who your end-all be-all customer is for your investments. So if you're looking at something in 10 years down the road, what in this set are people going to be chasing? So Twilight Masquerade, what are people going to be coming and paying potentially $200-$300 a booster box for you to get a good investment over a 5-year span? What are the items that are going to be going after? You think that you're going to be spending $300 for a booster box for Greninja EX in 5 years? Is that going to be the card that's going to do it? Is that going to be the reason that someone's going to chase this particular set and spend that kind of money? Someone going to do it for an EV card, which we've already pulled 4 of. It's a very easy pull. Is someone going to buy multiple boxes at $300 to try and pull an EV card? Probably not. Or a Chansey card. Once again, fairly easy pull. Probably not. So that's, I think, the problem that I'm running into even myself when it comes down to Scarlet and Violet. While I've still been really pushing in the Sword and Shield block, I feel there's a lot of opportunities in the Sword and Shield block to have some very, very good opportunities still. Whether you're sitting there looking at booster boxes of like Lost Origins or Silver Tempest, you can go into auctions and you can try and continue to pick those off. The other part, there are still some really hidden gems inside of there, is going to be your singles. There are some really good singles in the Sword and Shield block that I still feel like they're really forgotten and not quite caught up to the rest of the market when it comes down to their popularity, such as the Celebi. Once again, it doubled in price, but I still feel it's lagging way behind. You got that Galarian Rapidash, I think is a fantastic card when it comes down to it. There are a lot of them hidden little gems inside of the Chilling Reign Fusion Strike sets that people just never really caught on to, that have some really good popular fan base to them. They're just not catching because people are not looking at them yet. But in 5 to 10 years, could people be looking at those singles? Absolutely. If people still continue to do the same trend of liking similar Pokemon, then yes, there are some very good opportunities when it comes down to that. So yeah, that's going to be my little rant. And that's a lot of the things that are going on right now. Team Rocket, already starting to feel some of that pull away force when it comes down to your investment and for your sales. So if you are trying to sell Sword and Shield stuff right now, Stellar Crown not selling is hot. But a lot of people I talk to in the lives and when I'm actually ripping and shipping on TikTok will tell me straight out, I'm saving money because I know the Team Rocket set's coming. I'm very interested in the Team Rocket set. Or I'll hear them say there's 2 big sets coming and I'm holding out for those particular sets. Now, whether or not that's Surging Spark and Team Rocket, or if it's Team Rocket and EV Heroes 2.0, they're not really clear on that, but I've heard a lot of them say that there's a couple sets coming forward. I can only think that it's Team Rocket and EV Heroes 2.0. I think Surging Sparks is going to have a little bit of a jump, especially with individuals chasing Pikachu. The Pikachu chase in there is going to be one of the better parts of that particular set. But in general, like I said, just really slow. Really, really slow comparatively to what we've seen previously in this particular market. But let me know in the comments what you guys feel. I'm always kind of interested to hear what you guys have to say about things when it comes down to what you're seeing out there, what your feelings are, because, you know, I'm just one person out here in the market. And sometimes hearing other people's points of view is definitely a very good thing for maybe seeing a direction or seeing something. But I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the chat real quick, guys. We've already gone about 28 minutes, and I like to give you guys a little bit of chat time here at the end to go over some questions that you guys may have. Gimbo Slice, thank you so much for joining. iFOMO, as always, greatly appreciated to have you in here. We got Grim the Nerd, thank you so much for joining in as well. Wankura, thank you so much for dropping in as well. Aaron, thank you for being in here. And Tactical Peace, thank you guys, everybody, for being in here again. Once again, greatly appreciated to have you into the chat. As always, seeing a lot of familiar faces, which is awesome. Thank you so much for Gimbal Slice for the beer. Thank you so much for throwing that up there. I could really go for some right now. It's been a long week already. Gimbal Slice, we got, I bought a case for $720. Feel fine with that price. It's not too bad. You know, depending on when you got them and everything else like that, it's probably not the worst price in the world. But I'm kind of curious to see where this is going to roll out to here in the near future with the amount of reprints. So, if we go ahead and pull open, what's Twilight Masquerade or not Twilight Masquerade? Sorry. If we go to Paldea Evolved. Nice thing is that we can pull it up here on Pokédata and see where we're at. So, Paldea Evolved. So, realistically, we haven't seen a big change in the booster box pricing as of right now. It kind of slumped a little bit there as the reprint came. So, it went down to, it was at about $144. We went down to $136. And now we're already back up to about $140. So, it really didn't take long for the correction in that market. Like I said, I didn't feel like it was a very big reprint from what I've seen. But it is out there, and that's something that we have to acknowledge when it comes down to product. Is there is a acknowledgement that we have to have that there is a reprint out there. How much is that going to damage the market, and what is the potential side effects of that if you are investing in the Pokemon TCG? So even if you were to sit there and say you got a case of those at $6, $120, that's a heck of a good price right now currently in the market. You're already up. And that's exactly what we want to do. The next few weeks is really going to tell whether or not you got a really good price on that, but I feel that you're right, Gimbal Slice. I think that you probably did get a decent price. If it dropped down to 110, I'd be very, very shocked. 120 is probably right where it would bottom out anyways if you were to get it at that price. So, I can tell you right now that my distributor right now is selling it for 115. So the chances of it going under 110, probably not very good. So yeah, I just want to point that out, that even the distributor pricing on it right now is higher than that. Or is right just about at that price. So even if you bought that at that price, they pretty much just rolled it through on you. And they really, really, really didn't give you a good didn't give you too bad of a price for sure. They only made a few bucks. And I'm just looking right now. So yeah, they're still available right now on my distributor. And they are, yeah, 113. 113 a booster box right now if I were to buy them from my distributor. So distributors aren't even giving us a great price on them. So which means that they didn't get a lot of them. If they got a lot of them, they would put a better price on them. Let's see here. Good evening, Grim the Nerd. Wakura, thank you so much. Make sure you do hit that like button. Greatly appreciate it for that. And also make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you guys, everybody, for doing that. Before I go any further, too, just a PSA. I am almost got enough. I'm trying to give a last chance. I'm going to put in the rest of it here. But we do have the pre-orders on the Discord. And if you go to NorthwoodsTCG.com, you can just check it out. I think the link's down below. But if you go to NorthwoodsTCG.com, there is the booster boxes of Japanese 151 for $80 a piece with a flat rate of $7.50 shipped. So if you, no matter how many you buy, it's $7.50 for shipping. So if you are interested in that, just one more PSA on that, let me know. I want to order them here by this weekend, so I want to get that order in regardless. I'll just cover the rest of it to fill it in, and that doesn't bother me at all to do so. So if anybody's interested in any booster boxes of 151, make sure you go to NorthwoodsTCG.com and grab as many of those as you want. I have a maximum of 20 because the case is 20, and I have to order them in groups of 20. That's the only way I can get them from the source. They only sell cases, so I got to get 20 of them. If you guys are interested, I've got whatever's remaining up there, but I will cover the rest this weekend and get those ordered. So just so everybody is aware. Going on into this, FOMO. It's not about coupling. It's about the cake. The cake. Which one's the cake? Did I miss a cake one? Now you got me thinking. Did I miss a... Got to look real quick. Got to see what we got here. Which one is he on? Or is it in a different set? I guess I don't know what cake you're looking at, iFOMO. The cake that he's eating. Is that what you're... You're making fun of the cake it's eating. Gotcha. Took me a minute. I'm back. I'm with you. I got this now. All right. Let's see. We got Aaron Scott. Loving the epic thumbnail. I knew you would. I always cater to you, Aaron, for the thumbnails for sure. You know you enjoy those all the way. I don't buy anything anymore. This new generation just isn't for me. Just my own opinion. I'm kind of starting to feel that way as well. I mean, there were some good sets, and I'm not going to complain. Obsidian Flame to me was a fun set. I like Paradox Rift. I think the Paradox Rift to me is a lot of fun, and I think personally, the more and more I was looking at it, the more and more I kind of get to the realization with Paradox Rift. It's because the Paradox Pokemon aren't like way out of whack. Roaring Moon still looks like Salamence. It's just a different name with a little bit meaner, older feel, ancient feel to it. And, you got the Iron Valiant, which isn't too much different than Gallade. It's just Gallade just steeled up, which is not too bad. Overall, they're very, very similar to their original Pokemon that they come from. Temporal Forces, I'm just not behind. I can't. I'm not a big fan of that one. And I was going to look before the live, and I actually kind of forgot about it. Because if I look up Temporal Forces, I'm pretty sure that the two top alternate arts in that are actually the ones that look closest to their original Pokemon. I'm just trying to remember. I can't remember off the top of my head for sure. So if I do this, save. No, I don't want sealed product. I want cards. Give me the cards. Turn that off. Why is it going to code cards? I don't want code cards. What is going on? Okay, let's do this. Clear all. So we go temporal restart. I was just gonna check because I was just kind of curious to know if that was still holding true. Nope, I guess the Raging Bolt is now taking over. So originally the Iron Crown was very, very popular at the first, and so was the Iron Leaves at first. Both of which were almost to their original counterparts, which I thought was kind of funny that they were actually the top performers, were actually the ones that were closest to their original counterparts. So, yeah, just kind of interesting. But to me, it is kind of, it is just to me, when it comes down to the newer sets and when we're talking about it, I think that there are some opportunities. And I'm not going to say there's no opportunities in Scarlet and Violet. I'm just feeling like, in general, Pokemon's kind of gone the wrong direction a little bit when it comes down to the collectors, number one, and number two, the amount of artwork that they're releasing. It was more fun when the artwork was more scarce. When you were sitting there trying to search through and find 4 to 6 alternate arts and doing a really heavy chase on those, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then you got the trainer gallery, which was a bonus as you were doing it. To me, that was a lot of fun. But when you sit there and look at Scarlet and Violet, there are just so many Illustrator Rares and then so many Secret Illustrator Rares in some of these sets that there are more Secret Illustrator Rares in some of these sets than there were alternate arts inside of Sword and Shield. And then on top of it, you got a smattering of Illustrator Rares on top of it, on top of the Secret Illustrator Rares. It gets to be almost overwhelming. And then the pull rates aren't very hard on most of those Secret Illustrator Rares. It isn't as difficult as the alternate art Vs were in the Sword and Shield era. To me, I am really kind of missing the Sword and Shield block in a way. I was kind of getting into Scarlet and Violet personally, and I love it for the play. I like the more elongated play versions that we get now that we're completely going into Scarlet and Violet this next year. It'll be really interesting to see how this plays out and how this holds, but we are seeing a lot more of that elongated playability on it, so it's not these quick little games. So Sword and Shield was very, very, the way the play format was through Sword and Shield was very, 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 very fast. You could slap through a round extremely quickly. And now that we're getting into Scarlet and Violet, that's not the case. Scarlet and Violet is more drawn out gameplay, more strategized than we were seeing with Sword and Shield. And with that playing out a little bit differently, that's changing the dynamic on the play, which I do enjoy. I do like to enjoy the more strategy, the quicker, how can I get the right trainers in place, and how can I search my deck the right way to get the cards that I need in order to be able to optimize my play. That is more into the direction that it's gone. But when it goes down to the actual cards themselves, the art types, the archetypes, the actual products themselves, I feel like it's just slacking. I think Scarlet and Violet is just not really doing as well as we were seeing originally. So that's definitely something to be considering when we're looking at the future of Scarlet and Violet. Is there going to be an archetype that people are going to want? out of these illustrated rares and secret illustrated rares. Is there going to be a chase? Is there going to be enough value in these cards? Is that Greninja going to hold that price that it is right now? Because I do know that that's been retracting a little bit now that Stellar Crown has been out a little bit. Not a ton. I mean, so there's a lot of questions. To me, there's just a lot of questions right now when it comes down to the viability to it. Is it hurtful to put a little bit away and just, you know, play it out and see how well this goes? No, there's nothing wrong with that in any way, shape, or form. But there's still the opportunity to where you could be maybe putting your money in the better products in the near future here. So we're looking at, so yeah, we're down about $25. It's slowly just kind of trending down, which isn't surprising. Like I said, I'm not surprised by that, especially with the new sets coming out. That's what we've seen. Do I think that Greninja is going to hold the same value as, let's just say, a Lugia V? Probably not. Is it going to hold the same value as a Greninja V? Probably not. I mean, we're up to 165 again. That Lugia keeps kind of just, it went up and then it kind of comes back down. It's playing around a little bit, so we're still not at the all-time low, but it's sitting at about 165, which still isn't a bad deal. Is it going to be as good as, you know, is it going to hit Moonbryon status to really draw in the people into Twilight Masquerade? I don't think so. I just don't think it's going to have that kind of gangbuster move. I'm just kind of curious, where is the Garantina V? Just kind of curious on where that one's at, really. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious to know where the Garantina V is currently. Like I said, I haven't been watching all these cards. So yeah, I mean, the Garantina V right now, raw, is $390. So, and that's actually kind of, according to this, retracted. But I mean, $190 is still heavily played, is around $300. And if you go to the other ones, you're at about, yeah, $390, $370 currently for that particular card. Is the Greninja going to keep up with that? I don't feel as much. I don't feel that as much. So, and I do feel that that's going to be a continued issue when it comes down to Scarlet and Violet. I feel like they opened too much of the floodgates of what was going on, and they really need to start getting a new rarity that has more of a chase, more of a rarity, and go with that direction. Let's see. We've got iFOMO. I like the Cresselia. The Cresselia is a really nice card too. I mean, like I said, Frostlass. I kind of like that card. Just because I do like the Noivern V was another one. I really like that dark. I'm kind of a dark person, and a lot of times when it comes down to my art and what I like. So definitely do like the Frostlass too. It's just kind of one of those cards that's it's striking to me with it kind of creeping in the door into the dark room. It's just kind of a really cool little artwork when it comes down to the dark type. But you're right, very random. They're very random. All these illustrator rares, most of them are very, very random. They don't seem to be fan favorites. They just seem to be out of place little cards that are out there right now, and they just don't quite fit into any real mold. I'm just looking real quick because I saw the next box coming up here. So, our next question coming up was the Elite Trainer boxes. So we got the Tactical Piece asks, have you seen the price spike on the 151 Pokemon Center ETBs? Yes. The Pokemon Centers, I thought it was regular. Sorry, I did a quick skim, but yes, the Pokemon Center ones are going absolutely crazy. They're like $170 right now. I'm just pulling it up. Because the last time I looked, they were like $130, $140, and now I heard that they were up to $170 the last time I saw. And yeah, it looks like they're right now, click here, yeah, okay, $170 right now. So if I'm in here, $170 plus $100 or $1 or $14.99 shipping. So you're looking at $185 for this thing. So we're up to about $185 for this particular product. And another one that's actually doing really good too is the Ultra Premium Collection as well. So if you go to the 151 Ultra Premium Collection, it's another one that's spiking like crazy. It's all the way up to $160 currently as well, with shipping costs involved into it. So like this one, the next one up for sale is $141 plus $15 shipping. So you're at $156 as well. So a lot of the 151 products are doing extremely well. I was expecting more of a slump out of these a little bit. I thought maybe we might see a little bit more of a buyer's market when it came to these, just because of the fact that my thought was that we have reprint scare. People go into oh my god mode, and then they start selling things down, and you get a chance to maybe pick up some things that you were missing to try and finish up those opportunities. And I don't think we're going to get it this time. Obviously, it's not really affecting the ETBs are still going up. They went up as well. The PC ETBs have gone up considerably. The UPCs have gone up considerably. The booster bundles dipped and came right back up. I mean, they went down and came back like crazy, and they didn't really even get affected by that for very long. And it's just kind of interesting that we continue to see products show up and come out. It doesn't overall hurt 151. 151 is the one set in the Scarlet and Violet block that I have no problem putting money into at all. If anything comes up, especially at MSRP, I'm buying. It's just not, there's no question on whether or not I'm willing to buy a 151 product, and it's pretty much the only set in the Pokemon TCG for Scarlet and Violet right now that I would consider going and buying. If it was for sale right now in front of me on the store shelf at MSRP, I'm buying it. Not even going to question it. I'm not even going to hesitate. There's no hesitation. ETB shows up on the shelf of 151, it's going in the cart. I'm not even going to stall on it, just because of the fact how popular that particular set is and how well it's holding up, reprint after reprint. I think if you got another reprint of 151, it's going to absorb it. It's going to absorb those hits. It's a good enough set that when it seems like it gets a reprint, it gives it relevance again, and people want to buy into it again, and they start opening again. My TikTok, I burned through all my 151 the second that they announced a reprint. I didn't change my price. I didn't drop my prices at all on TikTok. It's just people heard reprint, and it's like it got them going again, and they became like sharks in the water. Like there was blood in the water, and they weren't looking at price. They were just buying. It was bizarre. I mean, these little bundles, I sold them for $39.99. I didn't change the price. That's what I've had them at since I put them up originally. I didn't change the price. I just listed some more up that were available, and they were gone. Booster packs, I'm out of booster packs. Loose boosters are gone, and I didn't change the price. They sold them for $7 a piece all day long. Never even slowed down. It just all of a sudden turned on, and the switch turned on, and they were just gone. Everybody started buying. It was like a feeding frenzy for 151, and even if there wasn't a deal on it, they were gone. And it's absolutely insane at how people react to the news of 151 again. People start talking about reprint. People start talking about product available. Those bundles became available when we were selling them on TikTok again. And it's like it started a complete feeding frenzy on 151 again. And it's just really, really interesting how that particular market just does not care what's going on. It just absorbs and moves on. Kind of reminds me a lot of Evolving Skies in a lot of ways. I always said Evolving Skies is one of those sets that I don't think you could reprint that enough. I honestly do not think in any way, shape, or form you would have to print so much for this market not to absorb it. Because if you were to go down and say we reprinted a whole original release of that particular set, you put it out there at $3.99 or $4.99 a booster pack in the stores, it would be gone. That shelf there would be people killing each other to try and get that off the shelf. Even if there was 10,000 booster bundles per Walmart or booster packs per Walmart, people would kill each other to try and get them things. It's just one of those sets, and 151 I'm starting to feel is getting that same kind of vibe to it, that it is. That it doesn't matter what you do, it just gets eaten up. It's just like watching a sumo wrestler over a bowl of noodles. Oh, look, more. Nah, it's gone. I mean, that's just what we see. It's just really, really cool to see these sets when they do happen and when they do hit. We knew it ahead of time that 151 is going to be a very good set, a very popular set, and it has not disappointed in any way, shape, or form. I don't think another reprint would affect it at all. It would just give people an opportunity to buy in again. That's all it's going to do, is give you another chance to jump in and get into that particular option again. All right, so let's see. We're going to go down into the next one here. Where was I? Oh, Wankua. Team Rocket to the Moon. I think you're right. I think that's going to be the next. That's going to be the next 151, I believe. Earmuffs Royalty. What's up? Thank you for joining the chat. Northwoods, you going to Chicago Collecticon? Yes. I've got my tickets. I got my stuff all punched. I got the hotel rooms. We are ready to blast off, my friend. We will be down there in Chicago. Nick Landon, 100%. Too much of a good thing makes it not a good thing anymore. Exactly. I mean, you can only have so many good things. When you're looking at Illustrator Rares, Secret Illustrator Rares, all those things, it's definitely, you can put too much. And I think that's where we've gotten to currently in Scarlet and Violet is, it's just too much. And it's not like they're putting in, like talked about earlier, it's not like they're putting in collector Pokemon. It's not like they're giving you Pokemon that you can collect and that if you pull it, you're like, cool. You know, even like I said, my daughter pulled the Honchkrow tonight out of Brilliant Stars. We got some Brilliant Stars. They wanted to open packs. I gave them each a pack of Brilliant Stars. My daughter pulled the Honchkrow out of some Brilliant Stars. She loves it. Honchkrow is still a cool card. I like the card in general. I think it's a really good artwork. But if you put Honchkrow into another set with a ton of other stuff, then it's just garbage. I mean, you just can't. You can't keep piling in a ton of Illustrator Rares and Secret Illustrator Rares and expect success when it comes down to these sets. Pokemon needs to refine and attack specific things. So if you want Pikachu to be a mascot for this generation, or an Eevee being a mascot for right now, you need to push that particular card and work on trying to find a way to make an artwork that works great for that. You need to start refining down on how many cards you're putting out there for Illustrator Rares. You need to make these specialty cards special again. If you have 28 of them in a set, it's no longer special. It's, to me, when I'm trying to pull stuff, it's actually kind of irritating. Because there's so many, if you pulled an Illustrator Rare, you knew if there was 4 of them in a set, that if you pulled so many packs, that the chances are that you're going to get one of the ones you wanted. You're going to pull that Arceus, or you're going to pull that Charizard, or you're going to pull, at least that Luminion, or something of some value that was really nice. Any one of the 4 that you pulled, you were happy with. It was really cool to pull Mountain Art and Sword and Shield. Now, I've gotten to the point where I pull Illustrator Rares, and I'm trying to see, because I've pulled one of them like 4 times out of Stellar Crown I guess 3 of them sent. One of them I pulled myself. It's like I've pulled the same ones, and the worst part is when you pull the same ones. I've got 28 of these things, and I'm pulling the same ones 4 times. I mean, I've pulled almost all of them. The Squirtle, Blastoise, I already pulled that. 3, I had a box, 144. I'm on my second box, 144. We pulled 3 Blastoise, or Bulbasaurs, and 3 Squirtles out of 1 box. So if you get these right here, so I'll just pull it up here. So this is my second box of Stellar Crown. If you buy these 144 boxes, there is 2, at least, I've pulled 3. I've already pulled 1 out of here for the Squirtles. This box has just been opened. I mean, there's still 100 and I think there's still 130 left in there. But we've already pulled 1 Squirtle out of that one. So I've pulled 4 Squirtles, 3 out of 1 box, 3 Bulbasaurs out of 1 box. So yeah, there is not a hard pull when it comes down to even those particular cards. Illustrator Rares are actually fairly common. Secret Illustrator Rares, it's like 1 per box. Just so you know, the Secret Illustrator Rares are about 1 in 144 packs. So each one of these boxes, typically it was the same thing for Temporal Forces, the same thing for Twilight Masquerade. If you buy a 144 pack box, you're going to get 1 Secret Rare per box. So when you get these sets that have Twilight Masquerade that has, 6 Secret Illustrator Rares, and that also includes some of the trainers too. So there are the trainers in Secret Illustrator Rare as well. You'll get 1 per box, just so you know. So yeah, it really gets drug out quite a bit when it comes down to the pull rates on those particular items. Bub Savage, welcome in, my friend. Thank you so much for joining in this evening. Royalty, sweet. I'll see you there. I have 3 of the Pikachu Van Gogh canvases, the big ones. You think I could sell them there? I live near Chicago. Shipping these things is a pain in the butt. Oh, trying to sell them there, you could probably pull it off if you're doing trades or if you go to the vendor or to the booths. So yeah, there's probably some individuals that'll buy them there for sure. I know that there'll be some. It just depends on the price you're looking for. Whatever, they're probably listed on TCG Player or a lot of times eBay or anything like that. They're going to offer you probably at a show 60% of value. I can just tell you that right now, just from experience, because that's what I do as well. I'll usually do 70 depending on how liquid it is. So those have high liquidity to them. But if I'm at a show and I'm paying for a booth and all that other stuff, we typically go a little bit lower. I'm just telling you, that's kind of the standard. Some places will pay more if it's liquid, of course. The liquidity of the item will definitely affect on how much they're willing to pay. But I would plan on 60 to 70% of whatever the value is. But you'll be able to move it there. That won't be a problem. Shipping, shipping is an interesting thing. So sometimes if you actually check out the shipping on them, it's not as bad as you think. For whatever reason, it seems like some of the shipping has gone down a little bit, even on my TCG players. So, like sending these items out the door is a perfect example. Sending one of these out is actually not as bad as it used to be. These usually cost about $8 to ship. Right now, they're down to about, on average, probably around $6 to ship. So Shipping has kind of improved a little bit on some areas of shipment, and other areas it seems to have gone up. But it's kind of just hit or miss. Sometimes take the box size that you're going to use that'll fit, put it in there, and kind of just pick a random place. I always pick like Southern California just to see. But just a warning, if you're doing straight up trades for stuff, you can usually get some value with the trade value. They'll do a little bit more on trade value for you on particular stuff. If you're looking for cash for things and you're going to Collecticon, you're probably not going to get a huge amount of value on those. Exactly, gimbal slice. That's what I use pretty much most of the time. Priority is a scam, and it literally gets you there at the same time. I have not had any luck with priority. I just use the economy ground or ground advantage for USPS. And the pricing on the shipping is very manageable. Very, very manageable when it comes down to that. So, yeah, I mean, that would be my word of caution. I understand if you live close to Collecticon, and if you are there, make sure you message me and just hit me up on my phone. Let me know, or on Discord. I'll keep my Discord live with me, or Instagram, whichever one. Instagram's probably better because it'll actually pop up as a notification on my screen. But if you want to message me, just go ahead and do that. That's not a problem. But, yeah, once again, guys, that's all I got for the comments right now. I see, like I said, debates going and everything else, but we're almost to an hour as well. Just one more reminder, of course, go to NorthwoodsTCG.com. We do have the we're trying to get an order in for the Japanese 151 booster boxes, so you'll be looking at getting these. So we got the Japanese 151 booster boxes like this. Currently, they're going for about 100 to 114, and they're about $80 a piece. I've got plenty of them, but if I need to fill in that order regardless, I'm going to make that order here this weekend, probably Sunday. Regardless, I'm going to do that order and get it coming. But if you are interested in that, make sure you go to Northwoods TCG right now. Hit it in, get your order in by Saturday, because Sunday I'm going to place the order, and there's only 20 of them available, so when the 20 are sold out, that's it. I'm not going to buy another case. I'm just going to try and fill one at this point in time, unless someone contacts me and says that they want to buy a case, then that's fine. I can do that too. Or then I'll add on to it, or at least majority of a case. That's fine if you want to do, 10 or 12, whatever you want to do. I'll be able to work with people on that fact. But right now, I'm trying to sell 20. 20 are available. If you want more than 20, let me know, and we can work out a deal, and we can figure that out at that point. So, other than that, like I said, thank you everybody that's watched and joined. I see there's 20 of you out there. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well. Greatly appreciated for everybody that's joined, of course, with us on this beautiful Tuesday night. If you do want to have some fun and just sit down and relax and talk as well, I always inform people, come join me on TikTok, Northwoods TCG on TikTok. We like to sit down, chill, and relax and just open packs as well. Or sometimes we just sit there and talk cards. I mean, sometimes I don't open anything as nights. So, just so you guys are aware as well on that. And boom. Okay, fix that. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to come just join us, I'm always live on there Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Time, and sometimes 9:30. Right in that range, I start up going live. If you want to come and hang, definitely great opportunity to sit down and chat and have some good comments as well over there. But once again, guys, thank you everybody for joining. Greatly appreciated for everybody that's in the live tonight and spending time with me and taking time out of your day. And hopefully we'll see some of you guys at the Chicago Collecticon. We do have that coming up here in mere weeks. So we are almost there. So yeah, it's not this weekend, it's the following weekend. So it's flying up. We're getting really close to that as well. This year is just cruising by. It's hard to believe it's already October. And then we're going to be talking Black Friday stuff here anytime. We're going to be getting the Black Friday information. I know we're going to have Walmart doing some kind of special for, probably 151. My guess is we might be seeing some 151 products showing up at, looks like we did for Crown Zenith. We might be seeing some 151 stuff during the Thanksgiving Black Friday stuff here as well. Maybe that's why they did a reprint, as they were making something for that as well. Something to consider. We're going to be seeing some interesting products. I got a feeling coming up here for the Black Friday sales between GameStop and Walmart. So it'll be really interesting to see what we have rolling out and what we're going to be having opportunities with. But other than that, guys, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. And as always, we'll see